What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 24 of the LittleBigKast. We are the official PlayStation podcast of the KT Data Network. On today's show, Rachel returns from a land down under. That was horrible. And we're keeping it. It's supposed to be... I
don't have my piccolo.
What was Drew doing? I was trying, but
horrible.
I couldn't
We're
harmonize
continuing.
with
We're
that.
not re-recording this, guys. Drew wears his Gap shirt.
Shut up.
And
adorable.
Jeff, I don't even remember now what I was
You're a unicorn.
Oh, I'm a freaking unicorn. All this and more on episode 24
Pathetic.
of the Little Big.
You're pathetic.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode, 24? Does that sound right, guys?
Yeah,
24 of the Little Bigkast. I am your host for today's show, Jeff Hawks, and with me, as always, the suntanned and rather radiant Rachel Hernandez.
Radiant. I like that. It's alliteration.
ouch.
You've been celebrating in Australia, so I mean, those are the words, right, that you would describe someone who just spent a week on the beach in Australia.
So many beaches.
And
That's
even
good.
more radiant Drew Tyler,
Robin
not Robin
Hazlett.
Hazlett.
I can be whoever you want me to be. I'm happy
Drew
to be
is
Robin.
who he will
Drew
be.
Tyler. So yeah, I'm radiant. You bet. I touched the sun.
Absolutely.
Of course he has.
And as I mentioned, I am Jeff Hawks, and I am always shining in some way due to the lack of pigmentation in my
Nice.
skin. From
You glow.
that's a good way to describe being a redhead. I'm a glowing unicorn. Have I told you guys about this yet? That I am a unicorn?
Yeah.
Because you're a mutant.
Because it's like 0.02% of the world's population has red hair and blue eyes.
What?
So seeing a redhead with blue eyes is pretty much like seeing a unicorn. Just
Fine,
saying.
then I want to be a narwhal. Narwhal.
Narwhal.
They're so cute.
The little horny face. Right on. All right.
I want to
Jumping
be
into it.
a white male, blonde hair, blue eyes. That's all I got.
That's
Jump.
cute.
Jump in.
Way to be original, Drew.
Yeah, I know.
3 points for
A
originality.
Nazi. You want to be a Nazi?
Say Nazi.
1940s era German.
I never
I want to be a
said Nazi.
1946 German.
Didn't say Aryan nation. I just said white hair. Let's move on.
Just whatever he is. Anyway, Drew, since you're the weird person of today's show
I'm
with
on
your
one.
strange
Sicko.
I'm on.
ideology, we'd like to pass the buck over to you to kick off the week.
All right, I'll tell you what I've been up to this week. So as I pull out my show notes, so I can see what I wrote about it. I haven't done a whole lot of gaming this week. I played a lot more of Hohokum and kind of enjoying just exploring it and figuring it out. So that's been my gaming world. And then other than that, prepping for classes and just getting ready for the first couple of days of school. Which now I have 2 days down, and I think they're going pretty swell. So that's about it. I got a new crop of students to corrupt. So yeah.
As a teacher and former student, is it as nerve-wracking having a first day of school as a teacher as it is for students having a first day of school?
I don't
or
know.
Is it
it's
just
the
like
same.
does it just become like, it's whatever?
For me, it's getting a little bit more meh. But
Ooh, hey, is that your Gap shirt?
Shut your face!
Is it for real?
It's one of them. Yeah, I
It
think
looks
so.
good.
Yeah, I picked up a couple of Gap shirts. I did. Yes, and they look good on me.
Oh, you went school shopping?
I did. I
for
went back to
us?
school shopping. So
Cute.
I think the answer is that I can't speak for all teachers, but for me, I get a little nervous that that all. Did you know? Yeah, of
No, I'm
course you
kidding.
did.
It was obvious. The sweat and the panting.
I get excited too. So I guess it's really a combination of nerves and excitement. And I wouldn't say nervous, other than maybe I just have more nerves. But it's fun. I guess I feel like after teaching for a couple of weeks, the classes get to know me, what I want them to laugh at or what I want them to learn, and they get to know me pretty well. And on that first day, you kind of got to set the bar and let them know I don't know, I guess hope that they understand who you are, but they really don't get into it for a couple of weeks. Like it's always that tentative, I guess, quiet class where you're not sure if this is a class they can interact with or not. So I guess that's probably the nervous part, is I'm just never sure how quickly it'll take them to catch on to.
So like not sure if they should be afraid of you.
Right. And I don't think they should be afraid, but I think that just looking for that warmth and that like comfortableness in the side of a classroom. I was really excited to hear from some students that they were talking about other professors that they had earlier in the day, and they're just like, you can't walk into that class more than 30 seconds late or you're going to get called out and chewed out. And I was like, oh, that's not me. Maybe I should try that, but that's not me. But it was funny to hear that.
Right on.
But that's it. I had a light week. Oh, and I did my bucket challenge. You guys have probably been bucket challenged out, but I did mine today. That was a fun day.
So did you guys use Skittles?
Oh, you kidding? There's Skittles, Gobstoppers, Bottle Caps, Smarties, Starburst, Nerds, you name it. Ike and Mike and Ike. We yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, if you get a chance, pull up my challenge. I dumped like a tiny bit of ice, and then we decided that it would be way more fun to dump candy on our heads. So we just danced in the candy. It was so awesome.
You guys use the green screen at the studio, right?
Yeah. So there are nerds
you and the guy that did it with you should have taken your shirts off when you did the candy and just like been eating it as it was falling with your bare chest. It would have been awesome.
We had all kinds of ideas.
Only shoot from the belly button up so it looks like you're naked. It would have been perfect.
Rolling around, 2 men rolling around in candy. Oh, Thank you, KT, for pulling this up. So if you're watching the video feed, you'll see here. That's my buddy Glenn. We realized today that we've known each other for probably 25 years or more. He's a flight attendant. Does he
work at the school?
No, he's a flight attendant at Delta. So he travels the world. He goes to, all over the place. Amsterdam, Paris. He's awesome. He's always bringing me back stuff and coming over to play games. He's my friend with the PS4, so when I get to go play games with him, it's PS4. So there goes the ice. We dump ice on ourselves.
Oh, in the gaming chair.
Yes, he has the awesome gaming chair. And so we just look at each other and go, that was fun, but not as fun as we thought. What would be fun would be candy. And then we just sit there and dance while candy falls on our heads, and it was just delicious.
That's awesome.
That's fun. Thanks for throwing that up, KT.
That's
so. Then did you see this? The end of it?
No.
Oh, really? There's a fun little kind of like spoiler on the end of it, where I tell somebody that they've basically failed and they're not going to graduate, and then I offer them some candy, and it's all the candy.
It's all the candy on the floor.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So go and watch that. That's fun. Okay, that's my week. What are you guys doing?
I think Rachel should actually. You know what? Honestly, we probably should have started with Rachel. She's been on an adventure. So why don't you fill us in, Rachel? You've been gone for a little bit.
Okay, so I came back like when did I don't know, Friday. Well, it's just started off horrible because have I complained about my foot? So my foot never completely healed before I left, so I couldn't do as much as I would have liked because I was still slightly a cripple. I know, it sucked. And then we got there and like we had money set aside and stuff, but apparently the minimum wage in Australia is $17. So we got there and like a Happy Meal for McDonald's was like $12 just for like so that was crazy.
Do they charge for water too?
No. I don't think so. We didn't really get water because we would just go to probably because they only have bottled water.
Yeah. So
you would get like a soda or something like that. So we just go back to our apartment or whatever and just chug tons of water. So, but it was fun. Like, after we kind of like realized that we were going to spend a lot more money than we expected, we just kind of, it was cool to drive on the other side of the road and like use our GPS and see things in kilometers and not have any clue how far it was. That sucked.
That's hard.
Oh man, no, it's ridiculous. So, yep. And then we went to like beaches every day and just like a different beach every day. We went to the Gold Coast. We stayed in Brisbane, Gold Coast. We went to Sunshine Coast. We went to a couple other ones and we just met some crazy people like in pubs too, it was pretty fun. And like, I haven't been to the ocean since I was 12. So like I jumped into that ocean and I forgot that it's salty. So it was just shocking, but the water was so warm and it's winter there. However, I saw a peacock and I held a koala bear.
You did?
It was so cute.
Cute.
It's like as big as my torso and his name was Rocky.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Yeah, it's winter there, and it was raining. The first 2 days we got there, it was like pouring rain.
Did it smell better after it rained, or like was it a bad smell?
No, it was. I like rain, so it didn't bother me that much.
I just know, like in the Philippines, if it rains, which is pretty close to Australia, we're the same half of the world. Every time it rained, it actually smelled worse after the rain.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it didn't. I didn't notice the smell, but maybe I was just like too happy.
Yeah, too excited.
We watched a rugby game, the New Zealand Australian rugby game, so that was pretty cool.
What teams did you see
It
play?
was at a pub. It was New Zealand and Australia. They're like head to head, so that was cool to watch that.
The ear rippers and the
Rugby's intense, man.
The scrum buddies.
Yeah.
It's like I had no idea it was that crazy, but like I just watched these two guys like headbutt each other, and this kid looked at me. He's like, "There's no helmets on them," and I'm like, "What?" So that was cool.
I love that he felt like he needed to point that out to you, like you didn't notice.
I know, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
American.
So they make fun of us too. So there's a couple of things that was mentioned. So they would make fun of how we said girl and watcher.
Instead of a Sheila.
No, they call them biddies actually.
Oh, Betty's in the
Really?
Big K
I thought
Lounge.
it was a biddy. Yeah, no. So they say like water to like make fun of you and emphasize girl. It was pretty fun. Yeah.
They
So
say Biddy, they don't say Sheila?
I think
so
Sheila might be
disappointed.
more of an outback thing. I was with the surfers for the most part.
Oh, okay.
What else? So yeah, learned some lingo and it was pretty cool. Just walked and enjoyed it. It was
Okay, so
like
teach us lingo. Rachel's speak of the week. Aussie speak of the week.
Aussie
Give us
speak
one word and tell us what it means.
well, I gave you biddy.
No, I want another one.
A different one.
I want a twofer.
I don't know.
What did
Can
they
I-
say if they didn't say water?
They say what? They say it with like that accent, like water.
Water?
Water.
Water.
It's like British except more manly.
Did they say
That's how
do
they
they say,
explained it.
do they say
British, but with
aluminum
better
or do they
teeth.
say aluminium?
Oh, they say aluminium, just like
There's
every other
obviously an
country
I
that's
in
not
aluminium.
America. I know. Yeah. Well, aluminium. They say like adjective. One of the main things was so we say like, oh, that's really sweet, or oh, that's really rad. They say sweet as.
Yeah,
So, like,
sweet as, man.
You see that movie was sweet as, or they'll say like that movie was really scary as, or dope as, or
Yeah,
This isn't
everything's
like
as.
Not sweet ass or dope ass. This
exactly.
is
No, it's
Sweet
as,
as.
A-Z.
Sweet as.
or as, yeah. Sweet
Dope
as.
as. like, that's
Yeah.
Sweet as, bro.
And then they always think like whenever they find out you're American, like their first question is like, "How many guns do you have? Do you have lots of guns? Do you see guns everywhere?"
Yes.
That was like the main thing that I got questioned for. And then I was with like my friend that I went with is very white. So
Wait, you went with Barry White?
I went with the girl who was very white.
Oh, I was like, Barry
Yeah.
White. Sweet.
So she they asked her when she went to Australia and they were like, "So what does it feel like to be around your people and not be like the minority?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was interesting. It was really fun. I want to go back so badly. So
Very cool.
we'll see what happens. Your turn. Video game wise, I didn't really touch the video games. Nino Cooney's on the queue, but that's
Still cannot believe you haven't jumped into Nino
that's
Cooney
why I
with both
avoid
feet.
homework.
Oh
I've been
my
like I've
gosh.
been trying to get back to American mode. And like sometimes when I'm turning right in the street, I'm like, is this right? Is this what I should be doing? So
That's
yeah, I'm just let me get there.
Very cool. Well, welcome home.
Thanks, Jack.
As far as my game playing goes, I have played games for the first time today since the Destiny beta.
Oh, what?
So
Wow.
I feel
That's a lot of-
it's been a long time. So today I just kind of jumped around a couple different games so that I'd have something to talk about here.
How did that go?
It was terrifying actually. I played the Silent Hill teaser that's called PT that has been released on the PlayStation 4. And so last week we talked about how Guillermo del Toro and Hideo Kojima, I don't know how else to say his
You
name.
say that so much fancier than I do. I just try and make it as American, like just
His
widen
name's
it out as fuck.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
So
yeah,
they're
so-
doing the Silent Hill game, right? And this is their
Right.
teaser.
So this is a teaser, a
Mhm.
playable teaser for that game. And basically, you wake up in a basement and you see like this roach walking across the ground in front of you. And it's really kind of weird and unnerving. And there's this door that's closed, but you can see like the silhouette of the door. So you go up to the door and you kind of stumble your way through the door. Like you almost trip through it. And then you're just in this hallway. And you're looking down a hallway and there's pictures on the walls, and all of a sudden the radio kicks on and you hear someone speaking over the radio, and he's talking about a murder that's just happened, and he's describing this father that went on a rampage through his house and killed his 2 kids, killed his wife. And as you're walking down this hallway, there are doors that you can try and open that they're all locked. You finally get to the end of the hallway and there's one door that's not locked. And as you stumble through it, you stumble back into the hallway from the door that you originally entered the hallway in. And so basically with every pass through this hallway, the hallway becomes more warped. The pictures start to like bleed, like, and what I mean by bleed is like it looks like someone has taken the person's face and just pulled their face to the right a little bit. So you have this like stretched out, really morphed, weird, creepy looking face.
Is the graphic style? Is it similar to something else we've played?
It is hyper realistic. Like it is not. I mean, you can see it there on KT's. If you're watching the video, KT's showing it right now.
Oh, he's showing it. Okay.
Very like real world, realistic, and it's scary in the most like basic way that a game can be scary. And it's scary like subtly, because it's, at least when I was playing, like what was scary about it was that I was walking through a dark house as someone would slam on a door as I walked past it. Like, and every pass someone's crying in a door that I can't get into and I can't help them. And things are slowly getting scarier and scarier. And honestly, it feels, and this might be overly dramatic, but every time you pass through it, it feels more nightmarish. So I think if you guys are down, I think we should get together and play through this. I mean, it's a demo. It probably is only 45 minutes, maybe an hour of gameplay, but it is seriously scary. And what it is it's actually a puzzle game. Like you are trying to figure out, and I don't know what it is exactly that you're figuring out. My brother couldn't tell me because he couldn't figure it out. But apparently, there's like a pattern that if you follow, you'll beat the demo. Otherwise, you just end up in this twisted kind of vortex of terror.
That sounds crazy.
So that's a very long way to describe a game that I only played for 10 minutes because I was too afraid to keep playing it. Like a demo. I was afraid to finish a demo. So that
we haven't live streamed
off.
together for months now. So we should do
yeah,
that.
I think we should do it. Outside of that, I wanted a game that would be like a really good, like I'm just bored and I want to kill time game, because most of what I have on my system right now is like pretty heavy story gaming. So I downloaded Trial Fusions, and that game's awesome. Like it's a really good just time killer, kind of no-brainer motorcycle game that you're trying to make it through these really wacky, fun paths, I guess. So I've been enjoying that. I'm home for a week and a half. I have military training in a week and a half, and then I have a show in Washington, D.C. after that during the Bungie Destiny launch. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to make Destiny work on the other side of the country.
Just go
but
to
I'm excited.
Walmart
I'll figure it out.
and just play on the demo consoles. I think
Just demo console.
Yeah,
Well, I could probably go to like McDonald's and use the free Wi-Fi.
that's true.
Right?
There you go.
I'll just carry in an LCD screen. I'll carry in I'll carry it all in, set it all up, and just be like, deal with it. What are you going to do? You're going to keep
Deal
it
with
out?
it.
I will buy French fries every hour for the next 4 hours, so I'm a customer. Anyway, that's been my week. I'm kind of playing catch up at work, trying to make sure that all my like reconciliations are done for the last couple shows that I've worked. I'm definitely, I don't know, man. I'm still like the hardest part of the month is over as far as shows go, but I'm definitely still like way behind as far as what I need to have done. So yeah, a lot of work, and hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be able to start playing some games again.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. So anyway, that took way longer than it probably should have. So we're going to jump right into the Drew's news.
Okay.
If KOT would like to oblige us with some jams.
I got news. I got tons of news. So let me run through some of the stuff that you might want to hear about for the news world. First one I'm calling Kids These Days. This one is a sad little story. The PlayStation Network was down. It wasn't really a maintenance thing. It wasn't totally planned. It was, what do they call those? Denial of service attack. It crashed the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, it was hackers.
Right? I mean, it's just like somebody thought they'd have to get in there. I don't know,
Shouldn't have been
around.
Kids These Days. The title of this one should have been These A-holes. Should knock it
These
off.
anonymous, leave my toys alone.
So
Anyway,
what's
they
funny is,
fixed it.
sorry, go ahead.
I'll just say they fixed it and they confirmed that no personal data was compromised as a result of the attack. But still, it's kind of like, okay, what are you doing? So that was that. But it seems to be a little bit more nefarious than that with our second news story. But you had something you want to throw on this one?
Yeah. So you mentioned Anonymous, and what's funny is that Anonymous has actually been trying to help Sony catch these guys.
Nice.
What?
So yeah. Which I think is pretty interesting.
Ain't no one mess with the Sony.
I just think this is freaking stupid. Like, I'm so sick of people doing this. Like, get a hobby.
Leave Sony alone.
Anybody, like I mean, in the last couple of years, Sony in the video game world has been the biggest that's been hit for sure. But like, Target was hit, Dillard's has been hit, Neiman Marcus has been hit. Like, find something to do other than freaking wreck people's day. What a waste of time.
Lives.
Yeah.
I
What do you get from
good
it?
at hacking.
Right? What do you get out of it?
Put it on your resume. Oh, I did
Like
this.
Sony. Nice. So this goes into number 2. I call this one diversion. Polygon and others reporting that a hacker bomb threat diverted a flight that was carrying Sony's online president. So the Sony online president on a flight, a lot of tweets came in. So they diverted, and they confirmed that it was at least a security reason that they diverted their path. So there's a picture there that KT's showing that just kind of shows the plane like doing a 180, backing up. I'm assuming these two things were connected, just kind of like a show of force, but still, it's why? Just because you can? I don't know. Like, did they at any point did they explain like what their beef was?
No, just yeah.
You know what it was?
Essentially, it was
For
just
Halo
them.
fans.
I guess.
Either that, or I think it was somebody that maybe bought a game and then 2 months later it came out for free on the PlayStation Plus,
There you go.
and they were just like,
They're like, these deals are too good.
"Yeah,
How
yeah,
dare you?
I already got this." All right, so going on number 3, I call this one Sucker Punch. Wall Street Journal and others reporting, of course, this is big news, really, that Twitch was bought by Amazon. We had talked about it a little while ago, and we're talking about, Google's talking about it. Google is going to buy Twitch. And we thought that was going to happen, but it kind of fizzled. They were in talks, but apparently Amazon kind of beat them to the punch. Twitch was sold, I believe, was it 970 million? Does that sound about right? So I don't know details on that, but it's a lot of money. I think we'll talk about this later on our news segment, kind of what we think about it and what it'll affect. But that's some huge news.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I think my favorite quote out of the article was when they said, kind of as video games become a spectator sport, they said Amazon just bought the biggest arena or something like that. So that kind of puts it in perspective of like maybe their take on it or what they plan on doing with it.
Yeah,
You want to chime in real quick?
I think we're planning on kind of getting into this a little more in the topics. I think we can wait to get into it. I have a couple things that I'd like to talk about, but we can wait.
Okay, yeah, because I think we can go for long and far on that one with our pontification. So I'll jump. Here we go. Number 4 in our news world. This week's Destiny fix from Eurogamer. They have come out and claimed and clarified that you will not be able to trade items with other players. So anything that your player picks up in Destiny is yours and yours alone. You can trade within your characters, but you can't hand something off to somebody else to play with. That was one thing that they mentioned in that article. Another thing they brought up is that there's not going to be any other subclasses. We've found that we've got the 3 main classes, and each of those have 2 subclasses, and there will be no other subclasses. And there were some complaints because people were, I guess, wanting to hear or know more or see more. But their answer was basically, you haven't even played long enough to max out the first subclass, and we haven't even let you try the second one yet. And you've got 6 of them to perfect. And while you do that, we'll learn from you. And so,
Keep
we're
your
gonna
pants
work
on.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what they said. Actually, gamers,
Yeah.
keep your pants on.
I really like the so you read the quote in the last one. I'll read this one. It says, quote, "As for swapping irons in the tower, nope. We want you to earn them." Community Chief Dagu said, "You should be able to tell a badass story for every sweet jewel in your arsenal. Once you earn it, the various guardians under your account will be able to trade them, but weapons belong to the players who acquire them through action and bravery." And so, honestly, like I really like the way that I just think that their entire approach, like Destiny from A to Z, has marketed this game very well, and even the verbiage that they use in like a quote like this, like, "We want you to acquire them through your action and bravery," and like they're calling players the guardians, right? Like guardians answer the call, stuff like that. Like, I've just been really I've been really impressed with their whole marketing campaign and the way that they're doing this. Like I saw New York City has, like, Times Square has an entire building covered in Destiny like banners and images, and it looks freaking awesome.
We were going to do that for the LittleBigKast. We were going to cover entire buildings, but our budget wouldn't allow it.
Next time.
Destiny 2 we didn't think that was cool enough for us. So, but yeah, it's stuff like that I appreciate. Like, as a comm major, as someone who spends a lot of time thinking about, like, how can I market this product better? I like the way that they've marketed this, and you know what? Honestly, I like too that he says you should be able to tell a badass story for every sweet jewel in your arsenal. I think that's awesome. Like, how many games have you played where your friends could just dump a cool weapon in front of you? Oh my gosh.
What? Maybe he wasn't switching fast enough. It didn't work.
But
next time.
Anyway, I appreciate that. Anyway, moving on. I'll let you continue. Rachel's totally distracted me, and I've lost my train of thought.
I love that we can see each other, but yet there's still a live stream that's like forward facing. That's the beauty of TV. So here, I'll just do the next Destiny news. So Destiny news part 2, it's gone gold. Destiny announced it has gone gold, which basically means that, I mean, that's, if anyone doesn't know, gaming talk, gone gold means that it's been pressed and shipped out to retailers. They made their gold master disc, and then from there they press all the others. And so it's out, it's ready.
No more back pushing for that.
Yep. So we will not be seeing a delay of the week with this one. It's coming. Totally coming. So that's exciting news. All right, here we go. Last news story of our news segment. This one I call Flip Floppers, right from CNBC. The article comes from the source of Nielsen, who are the guys that do all of the research on these types of things. But 1/3 they found in a survey, it's kind of a small survey, but they found that 1/3 of PlayStation 4 owners switched from either an Xbox or a Wii, or had that was their previous console. So 1/3 of people playing the PS4 came from another camp. And they have a couple of good reasons or excuses, I guess, ideas as to why that happened in the article. Some of them saying that the way the survey instrument was set up, that you couldn't say whether you still had a PS3 or not, or it would only ask, like, what is your current game system? So if you previously had a PS3 and sold it, then you wouldn't have anywhere to mark that down. So they kind of took some of that stuff into account. So the methodology on this isn't totally clean, and it's not a huge sample either. I think it was maybe 1,200 people. Again, not a huge sample, but the idea is still there, that there are a lot of people that were kind of jumping from one to the next. What do you guys think?
So, do you have anything you want to add first, Rachel?
I am the perfect example. I think, I don't know, there's just a lot more to offer and stuff. So it makes sense in the head. No, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, so I had this slated as a topic for later, but I think it makes more sense to actually get into it and kind of discuss it now, if you guys are cool with this. The article down in the show notes at the bottom that is Sony's boring PS4 is winning the console war despite more exciting competition. And
that's
basically,
the Forbes article, right?
Yeah, this is a Forbes article that basically says that they're not understanding why Sony is the best-selling console because the competition is more exciting. And I think at the heart of this argument, and like they quote Shuhei Yoshida, who says that even he doesn't fully understand, like Sony as a company doesn't fully understand why the PlayStation 4 is selling as well as it is, because right now the PlayStation 4 is the best selling, like fastest selling console in history, like period. Like it is the fastest selling console out, like that has ever been made. And that's not to say that it's going to be the best selling console of all time, but right now it is selling incredibly well. And so the quote that they use from Shuhei Yoshida in this article basically says that Shuhei is like, it's really hard to plan for the future when you're not fully understanding the present. And he said, right now, our console's doing amazingly well, and that's super exciting. We love it. But we're not fully understanding why so many people are upping from like the PlayStation 3 to the PS4 right now. Like, because they recognize that a lot of games aren't there. Like a lot of things have been delayed, all this stuff. And the article is saying that like Sony's rather boring next gen video game console. And to me, like, and they say that
over and over.
Like even Sony is surprised by how fast their boring new console is selling. Like, I don't see the PlayStation 4 as being a boring console at all.
I think that the only reason why they're saying that it's boring is because they're comparing it to things like the Microsoft with its Kinect and the Wii U with its special touchpad controller. Like, I think when they say boring, they're looking at like a lot of the peripherals and fun things that are with these other two that are already out there. And so this is really, I mean, I don't know, it's not a news article. It's kind of like one guy's idea. Like, hey, this seems boring. But he, like you were saying, he kind of plays it out, and in the end ends up saying, well, it was priced cheaper, and people didn't see the purpose of these other gimmicks or other things that are on the more the more eye-catching, fancy things. Yeah.
Right. No, my favorite quote in the article was that gamers want a machine that isn't center stage and doesn't try too hard to innovate with inputs, but instead serves as a sold system to play the actually exciting stuff on video games. And I think, like, in the end, that's what it is. I feel like the Wii and the Xbox are trying too hard to be something else, and it's just...
Right.
I just want to shoot some people, man.
Right. And so let's think about, like, I think the key here, right, is that I think it's less about the price difference. I think for non-gamers, the price difference was an issue. But I think for people that actually play games and wanted a gaming system, Sony is and has never tried to be anything but like, hey, like, our focus is games. You can do all that other crap. Everything that the Xbox One can do, with very few exceptions, the PS4 can do. The difference is that from day one, Sony has marketed this as a gaming console, that's what gamers want. Like, we're tired of gimmicky crap. We're tired of things that, we're tired of the Kinect. We're tired of like
the touch screen on the
Wii U. And the thing is, I think we're excited about peripherals for the PS4, but we're excited about them because they're an option.
Yes, they're not mandatory.
They're not a mandatory piece of the overall product, right? Like, I love that I can use my phone with Destiny to manage my character and to upgrade armor and to add weapons and to track my progress. I love the idea of being able to use like a second screen, the way that we did in Watch Dogs, right? Like, I thought Watch Dogs was a crap game, but the fact that I could sit there and I did, I hated it. Don't get me started, Rachel. But like, the fact that Drew and I could play while he's on a phone and I'm on a PS4, that's crazy. Like, that is insane. And how cool is that that's an option to be able to do that? But what makes it cool is that it's not forced down my throat, and I'm not being forced to do that. You know what I mean?
Right, because in order to buy an Xbox, you have to have the Kinect, right? And same with the Wii U. It was the gamepad that was in there as like the new revolution or evolution of the thing. So I thought he kind of wrapped up that article in a decent way, where he says, I think he's just playing off this word boring, like trying to get a rise out of people. But he says, sometimes boring is the most business savvy road to travel. Sometimes it's a word that shouldn't carry such a negative connotation. If games are the most important thing to gamers, then making these things like the Kinect and the Wii U gamepad mandatory is a big mistake. And so,
That makes
Yeah,
me
go ahead.
nervous too, because like if that's going to be the flop of everything, it makes me think of Project Morpheus. Because I mean,
But it's optional too, right? I don't think they're going to be
Yep.
saying from here on out you've got to have Project Morpheus or you can't play games or you have to
I
pay
hope
for that
it's
price point.
nothing like the iToy, because that worked very well. If you all remember that.
Yeah, and the reality is like it may end up being like that, but as long as I don't have to have it, I don't care. I mean, I would love to have a really good gaming peripheral that I can use to have a cool new experience. But the reality is, to me, I think as long as I have a choice, I mean, if the Morpheus reviews well, I'll pick one up. If it doesn't, and if it continues to perform poorly, I'm not going to waste my money on that. And as long as I'm not punished for that on the game side, like what will piss me off is if, they release the next Skyrim and they say, in order to play this, you have to play it through Project Morpheus. And I know that wouldn't happen with a game like that. But like, what if they came out with a really cool IP that was just super awesome and like I wanted to play, but Project Morpheus made me sick? Like, what if playing Morpheus made me motion sick? And so I was like, I just want to stare at my screen and play this game. And you weren't able to do that. That's when I would be frustrated with it. I don't know. I think like ridiculing. I don't know.
I think he's doing
This article's weird. It's both kind of ridiculing it, but also like complimenting it at the same time. It's a really strange.
Well, he makes that comment right in the middle where he goes, "Okay, this is largely tongue in cheek. I bet you didn't notice, but," and so he is kind of going from that humorous side of, yes, it's so boring, but why is it doing so well? And he gets down to two things and basically says, it's got the horsepower that the other consoles don't, and it's got a reasonable price tag that the other consoles don't. And those two things together, more power, less money, yeah, we're in. We don't need the gimmicks. And so I think now that I've digested that, I think that his play on the boring PS4 is I wouldn't call it. It's not quite clickbaiting, but it's a fun kind of like play the devil's advocate, and so he's taking it from that angle.
I think so too. I think that makes sense.
But
after fleshing it out with you guys, yeah definitely.
But it's true though. I mean, if you got something that costs less and plays better, that's what gamers want. So
absolutely.
Cool.
All right, that's the news. Rachel, you ready?
Oh yeah, I have something to do. Yeah.
KT, you ready?
Done.
Okie dokie. So we have for August 26th.
Hey, that's today.
I know. So this is stuff that's recently come out. Is we have Infamous First Light, and you are a girl in this one. So hurrah for girl power. You have Madden NFL 15.
Can I be a girl in that one?
If you like football stuff, no, but you can be this tough guy with the helmet. They should do a rugby.
A helmetless rugby game.
They should do a rugby game that's online like this. Just kidding. That would be cool. A Metro Redux. Usually X's are silent. We have The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 5, which we should probably do our indie game coming up soon, I think. Would be sweet. Except for Drew. He can watch me play it.
I'll finish up
and rip it off like a Band-Aid. And then Dark Souls 2, Crown of the Evil King. So those are all August 26th. September 2nd is Velocity 2X, 2 times. And then September 9th, I don't know if you guys know, but there's this game called Destiny coming out.
on 9/9? Oh.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of things about it, but I don't know. September 23rd is Disney Infinity 2.0. And then Natural Doctrine, and then FIFA 2015.
Gotta get that FIFA.
Gotta get that.
What's Natural Doctrine? Does anyone know this?
I do believe it. I think I read that it was a puzzle game somewhere, but I know KT knows what it's KT's type of game.
Oh, is it our puzzle or RPG? He probably doesn't even have his mic on, but he's showing us pictures of it.
He was talking about it. He was like,
I
get a special preview.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And obviously FIFA's soccer, but what were you? What was I asking? I had a question. Oh no, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say, since some of these games, those first couple you ran through up to Dark Souls, are already out, we'd love to hear from you on Twitter if you've played them or if you've had a chance to touch them. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So hit us up at LittleBigKast. Yeah,
because I've heard that Infamous First Light. I was reading some reviews and stuff that it's pretty much just Second Son, except they just kind of made some controls a little bit better and stuff. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. And the neon powers were my favorite powers from Infamous. Then that's also a standalone game, so you don't have to own Second Son to be able to play that. Hey, are you being serious though, Rachel, about picking up a PS4 before Destiny?
Dude, I kind of want to because I don't want to play it on the PS3. We'll see this. I'm already in debt because of Australian school, so I mean, what the hell, right?
No, don't fall in that trap. Listen to me, young woman. Credit cards are the devil. You will never get rid of them. If you charge it, you will never get rid of it. You must start tucking away money and saving up. Oh my gosh, my sweet daughter, don't do this.
No, my max limit on my credit card is like 500 anyways. I can't even go over 250. Okay, but don't worry because I work and I live at home, so I got that savings account. No biggie.
I work and live at home, and I've got $25,000.
Yeah, but you also own your home and much more education than I do.
There's way worse things than having credit card debt.
Yeah.
Like not playing Destiny on the PS4.
Exactly. Like wasting your time with Destiny on the PS4.
Why would you do that?
I'm tempted to.
Don't do that to yourself.
I want to get the white bundle.
Let's go together.
Will you guys both just drown in debt together?
We'll live stream that one. Jeff and Drew and Rachel pick up their PS4.
I have a large gig on the table that was supposed to actually be completed by tomorrow night, but luckily it didn't come through, or else I would have been pulling all-nighters. But it's large enough that it's going to take my family to Disneyland, which is exciting.
Wow.
But it's also large enough that I could get a PS4. I figure I'm doing all the work. They get to go to Disneyland. I can get the PS4. There's a chance. I'll play my cards right, but there's a chance. I just don't know that it's going to come in 2 weeks.
You just got to turn up the charm just a little bit. Turn that charm up.
I screwed up tonight. I forgot to take the youngest to her preschool open house tonight. I missed it. It was a half-hour open house. Who has an open house for 30 minutes?
Yeah.
So it was way over by the time I remembered.
It's only preschool.
Oh, I caught hell though, so I'm done.
You just gotta twist that charm knob.
I do. I need to work it for the next 2 weeks just to even have a chance.
Just stop eating. That's what I like to do. Just see how long I can go without buying any food.
That'll save some money. There you go.
Yeah, just don't eat anything. Put it all away in like a sock drawer.
You can make it a contest with your children. Like,
it's like if you have the little finance app called Mint. It will manage like how much you're spending on. Like you can break it down to tell you how much you're spending on like soft drinks. And so that's I avoid that app. I avoid that app like the plague. I do not want to know how much per year I'm spending on soft drinks.
And then
that would be so depressing.
Another idea for Drew is you should just have your own butterfly sanctuary.
Have you seen them?
That. I was watching them.
I had 2, and they're beautiful. We let the other one go last night, and he stayed out on a branch in a rainstorm, so I was kind of hoping that he was okay. But this morning, or actually this afternoon, he was gone, so he must have dried out and gone his way. I love butterflies.
Drew likes butterflies more than redheaded strippers.
It's absolutely true. Wait, where did that go?
Haven't you seen all the butterfly tramp stamps?
Yeah, but I had no idea that I was going to tie that into a red.
I tell everyone that I want to get a butter-free tramp stamp. And they're either really freaked out about it or they're like, do it.
That's funny.
You keep some odd company.
I know. You guys.
Yeah, it's us. He hangs out with us. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks for mocking us, Drew.
Yeah, well.
Good job, guys. It's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so earlier we discussed how Amazon has now, purchased Twitch for, what do we say, 970 million? That's a whole lot of money. But Amazon released a statement promising that they would not change Twitch following the buyout. And I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about this. Like, Amazon over the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years with this Amazon Prime thing. I watch Amazon Prime more than I watch probably any other streaming service. I think it's done better than the other streaming services. I like that I don't have commercials like Hulu. I'm not paying for commercials.
Yeah, that's retarded.
And I also get 2-day shipping, which is awesome.
That's the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Amazon is doing a whole lot of things right in my book. So my question, I guess, to you guys is like, are there concerns here? Are there reasons to celebrate? like for me, where I'm coming from, and with my experience with Amazon, I've never had a bad experience with Amazon. Like what they do very well, and I have like with their track record, I have a hard time distrusting them or like feeling like I need to be worried. But I wanted to open that up to you guys. What do you guys think?
I think that Amazon's actually stepping up their game. Just like with the whole streaming services, like they came out with theirs, and like they're even getting into the cell phone world. And with the cell phone world, you get like the Amazon Prime and stuff. And now I think they're incorporating themselves in the video game world without actually like being a part of it. So I don't know. I think they're like noticing and recognizing what's happening, and they're kind of doing it. Like Kindles are still cool, but like I was really surprised that I was able to buy a Kindle version of a book and upload it through my iPad, because in the past that's always been a problem. Like you can buy this here, but you have to have our product for it, and that wasn't an issue. So I was really stoked on that. So I don't know. I'm kind of with you as well, Jeff. I think that they can do it, and they can do it correctly.
So on that note, I also need to say this too, is I don't know if you guys have used this yet, but I've used it a couple times. Amazon actually you can purchase like digital codes through Amazon now that are the same price and discounted at the same prices that you're finding like the normal Blu-ray disc games.
Nice.
And so very often you'll actually find cheaper prices through Amazon.com. Like even the digital purchases through Amazon.com are cheaper than they are through the PlayStation Store. And so I feel kind of like, I don't know. I almost feel like they're kind of trying to blend like Steam and Netflix, kind of into a single entity. And I don't know. I think Drew and probably KT have a better idea and understanding, and probably more to say than either Rachel or I. I mean, Rachel and I are both on the kind of the same page as far as this goes. But I'm very curious to hear about what you think, Drew, and Katie, if you're listening, if you want to jump in and share your thoughts after Drew.
Go on your rant.
Wait, I have thoughts. Hold on, what's my thoughts? Well, I think I guess first off, I'm just glad that Microsoft didn't win, because they at some point were bidding on it as well. But can you imagine? I can't even imagine.
If only.
Right. So Google and Microsoft at some point were bidding. We talked about the Google bid for a while and thought, I guess the complaint there, or the worry, was that they'd have an antitrust issue because they also have YouTube, and if they owned both of those gigantic streaming sites, that there would be a danger with that. So I guess for that reason, I'm glad that they didn't get it, because I like to have healthy competition. Like you guys, I'm really into Amazon and their customer service and how well they have been handling things. I think I've kind of explored a little bit of the what do you call it? Like the business side of things. What exactly does Amazon want to do with Twitch? And I guess early on when that news was announced, I don't even know that I was worried as much as almost excited to see what Amazon power and mentality could do with the Twitch platform.
Right.
But as KT was talking to us about a little bit earlier, the worry is that Amazon is going to have almost not enough hands-on, because they've talked about how they're not going to change Twitch at all during the following buyout, as it comes along. And so I guess, like KT was saying earlier, and I'll kind of back that up, I think that it wouldn't be a bad idea for Amazon to put their fingers into this pie a little bit and to kind of encourage and grow it out. That's where I stand, at least on the forward, like what they're doing going forward. I think that it'd be just fine for them to get in there and move some things. I think Twitch is great, but it's got to broaden a little bit more. Maybe it'd be a little bit more accessible if they're going to take on the other live streaming entities out there. Right now, they do games, and I think they just started doing live concerts. I think there's a lot of other things that have a room in that live stream world. Did we want KT to jump in on this?
Yeah, if you're there, KT, do you want to?
All right. Yeah. So this is a huge win for Amazon, because how they make their money is now the more you use the internet, the better for them. They're actually following the Google model now, if you think about it. So now when you go to a Twitch site, you'll be showcasing a game, say the Watch Dogs or Destiny on there, and it's going to have this little link, go buy Destiny now. And guess where it's going to link you to? It's going to link you back to to Amazon, and Amazon's making a good play. They're becoming a powerhouse. They are essentially the company that's going up against your Googles and Apples. And what does Google and Apple have? They have content. Amazon has been struggling to make content for quite some time now. They have their little producer studios and stuff, but they can't even beat Netflix right now in making good series. I mean,
Steal everyone else's though.
I mean, how many of you
Talked about
guys?
thievery earlier. Come on, it's super successful.
Well, think about it. How many of you guys knew that Amazon actually ran a drive and showcased like 4 or 5 different pilots of shows that they were willing to pick up?
No clue.
Yeah, they did that, and then they picked up 2 or 3 of those shows and made full series of it. But you guys didn't hear about it. But how many of you guys have heard of Orange is the New Black? House of Cards.
Oh,
Everybody's heard of that. And so they're struggling to find some kind of content that's original, that will draw people to watching it and use their devices. I mean, that's the whole point of them having the phone. The whole point of them putting Kindle on everything is because it all links back to the store.
Why they obtained or got the rights to all the HBO shows as well, right? I mean, Amazon Prime is the only service that you can get any of the HBO series on as well.
Yeah, it goes back to, so you want to own the new season of Game of Thrones? Well, here's a $60 DVD right here. Just go over there and you can own the actual physical discs if you would like on there. So this is what they're doing. Plus, this eliminates a lot of the trouble they've had because they've been able to get the content creators, but they have not been able to get the ideas. Now they're getting content creators and ideas to do it. The problem that I am worried about, and so this is nothing against the Twitch admin staff or the CEOs and stuff, but they don't know what they're doing on there. And that's why I was hoping Google would pick it up, was to give them a little bit more guidance on where to take their company. They were really not sure. And I mean all these rash changes that we saw from Twitch, from shutting down Justin TV to start taking out all these content ID matches. I bet you in those 2 weeks, that's where the Google one went down, because Google was a little worried about antitrust when you own that much of the internet video market on there. And they're like, oh crap, if Google's not going to buy us, we need to make ourselves more attractive to other people. So they shut down Justin TV, which was a huge hotbed of pirated content on there. They went back and took out all the music on there. So now they're looking a little bit more shiny, and Amazon's like, yeah, we're willing to do this. And Amazon had to be careful about this, because the difference between Google and Amazon is Amazon relies on selling this content. So they cannot piss off the content producers as much as Google could. Google could have a little bit of leeway on there because like, all right, so if you don't want to do this. But Amazon's a little bit more tricky. Now, I think after they've gotten all this content disappeared, taken off and everything, Amazon has a little bit more leeway. But I'm a little worried for the video game world, because the way Amazon bargains with companies is by not selling their products or not taking pre-orders for the products. Right. So you can see a lot of these indie dev, well, not even the indie, but a lot of the big titles, they're like, hey, I don't want these guys to be, monetizing on NFL 15 or whatever version on there. And then Amazon's like, all right, when's your NFL 16 coming out? Well, I guess they can't pre-order it on Amazon. That's going to be a big problem. And there are people like me, if it's on Amazon, there's a small chance I will order it from you online. Because I make most of my purchases through Amazon.
Right.
On there. So
that makes sense. And that's kind of what I was saying, the point I was making earlier, that I hope that Amazon, their hands-off idea of moving forward, I hope that they'll put some hands on, some guidance, so that we can see that kind of broadening. But it makes sense for them. They're trying to round out their game offerings. They're trying to round out, like KT was talking about, the content offerings. So it totally makes sense. I'm surprised that it was less than $1 billion, honestly.
Yeah.
What's 30 million? But
it was a steal on their part. Yeah. And the only thing, so I'm sure Amazon's going to put their tendrils in there, but they do it slowly. And that's what I'm worried about, is if they don't do it quickly enough to at least give them some direction, the Twit founders may find some other different idea and change and pivot it and cause the market share to lose. I mean, they've done it before with Justin TV. Justin TV used to be the super, super popular site, and then they practically abandoned it. And that was the downfall. And then just one night, without any warning to any of their broadcasters, anybody who's kind of stuck with them, they're like, bye. So I'm just a little scared about that. Is Amazon needs to at least go a little faster, because I saw it with Woot. They did it slowly, so you didn't notice the changes, but it might be too slow in this case.
It will remain to be seen.
Yep. Very cool. Thanks for joining us with that, KT. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap up episode 24 of the Little Big Cast.
Whoop, whoop.
We would love to hear from you. If you have anything you want to add to this conversation, any of the news items, but especially the Amazon discussion, if you have any thoughts or directions that you see this going, please let us know. Tweet us at LittleBigKast, or you can email us. We are littlebigkast@ktdata.net. So that's been it, man. Welcome back, Rachel. Drew, it's always good to have a conversation with you, but I think we can both agree that it's been nice to have Rachel back after so long.
So glad to be back.
So, you guys enjoy your first couple days of school, and I'll enjoy my first couple days of not having first couple days of school. And I'll just get along fine.
Good night.
Bye.